Our tilt with Morocco. This government in need of diplomatic representatives. Washington, April 10th. Commander B. McCullough, commanding the United States steamship Enterprise, has made a long report to the Secretary of the Navy in regard to the strained relations at present existing between the representative of the United States and the Moorish government. So this is to everybody that's saying there was no such thing as a Moorish government. This ain't a Moor that wrote this in 2000, in the 90s, 80s, 70s, 60s, 50s, 40s. This has been going on. So for the ones that saying that Moorish government never existed, you look like an idiot. 1888. It is dated at Tangier, March 21st. His report as to the facts in the case has been anticipated by previous publications, but he says in conclusion, the interest which the United States have in Morocco are likely to increase. You got that right, materially. And that our government is now at a disadvantage on account of the fact that while all other powers parties to the convention of 1880, go look that up, are represented by ministers residents, except Sweden, which has a consul general, Congress only provides for a consul for the Empire of Morocco. Do you hear that? The Empire. I am convinced that if the position under the Department of State could be raised to a diplomatic one, we should go far toward preventing questions, which frequently arise now between our representatives and the Moorish government. Again, the Moorish government. So United States and these states can't act like they don't know who the Moorish government is. It's the Moors here in North America. The fascinating Faldetta. On the first sight of the woman of Malta gliding about the streets in black, you think they have thrown their skirts over their heads, but they have not. The Faldetta is a combination of hood and cape. Take a black silk apron, together it close it at the top with several runnings and put a whalebone through one side at the edge, so as to form a hood. This sort of hood is then thrown over the head, the gathers coming at one side drawn so closely that it makes a curve, and the apron fallen obliquely across the back. It can be drawn across the face so as to conceal everything except the eyes, and the large eyes of brown are the last things you or the woman would wish to conceal. The costume is a remnant of the Saracenic days and is one of the many signs of Moorish descent, and this is in Malta. This is a very clumsy description of a most fascinating garment. It gives a piquant interest even to an ugly woman, and a providence for our sins still permits ugly women. But it adds a charm to pretty women that is quite bewildering. Mind, this is not my opinion that I venture to give, but that of European ladies whom I have consulted. Perhaps I might not have noticed them otherwise. And now you can tell the ethers are flipped because all the Moorish women are trying to look like European women. All the Maltese ladies as well as the common people wear the faldetta to church, though on other occasions European hats are gaining ground with the higher classes. I am speaking at length of this costume because groups of these figures in the streets or thronging the churches are the feature of the town. Moors always had the style, always. Everyone always copies off of Moors' styles. The faldetta is always worn with a black skirt, but some bright color is often about the neck or for the body, together with heavy gold necklaces and the glimpse of this half-hidden warmth of color that the faldetta permits, in contrast with the prevailing black, is very effective. It is perhaps the most coquettish devotional garment ever invented by the contradictory nature of the sex. I have given much reflection, while we are waiting for a steamer to Gibraltar, to the reason of its particular charm, and I think it lies in this, that it gives to its wearers the mystifying appearance of a demure nun and a dangerous adventuress. So the nuns got all their stuff off of the Moors too, brothers and sisters. How much the large soft brown eyes and the clear creamy Moorish complexion have to do with it is a scientific question. But I'm getting beyond my depth, because he ain't no adept to this Moorish science indeed. What I wish to say is that if the sex wish to look both devout and fascinating, the faldetta is the best invention of their genius. I am told, however, that it is not a comfortable garment in a warm climate, and that the wearing it tends to promote baldness. And when we get to bald women, it is time to change the subject. Hartford Current. So indeed, brothers and sisters, everything comes from the Moors. And remember, in a previous study, we seen that Moorish women wore the garbs to distinguish themselves from Gentile women. Shouts of approval for Madame Around. Madame Blanche Around met with an enthusiastic reception when she appeared at the Orpheum last night, between the second and third acts of The Silver King, and when she finished her program, the applause, which had increased between each number, had developed to an ovation. Her selection were arranged to meet the popular taste, opening with the polka from Mignon and following with Violets, after which followed a song in Spanish called Veritable Manola, which is a very old Moorish song descended from the Gypsies.
Alta